Hi everybody, my name is Terence. I am from Malaysia. I'm a certified NLP master trainer. Here in Malaysia, I conduct NLP certification training and I also run business coaching. Most of my students are business owners or people that plans to have their own business one day. So I've been asked to share with you about how do I do my sales. What is it that my processes that allows me to have an increase in terms of business year after year. So business has been good and we have been growing for the last I don't know 6, 7, 8 years ever since I started taking this approach in terms of how I do my sales. So just to give you context, the sales process that I use are the 5-step sales process that you find in your manual. Yeah, this is the only sales process that I use for myself when I talk to potential students or potential clients. This is also the same process that I train my students, and now all my graduates who are also NLP trainers are also training the same thing to their students as well. What I find in using this approach is that I very frequently hear that during the conversation, when you ask some of these questions that I use, they will say things like, funny, nobody have asked me this question before. Oh, now that you ask about it, I really got to think deep about this. And the reason is simple for me. For me, selling has to be something that is meaningful. It has to be ecological. There was once that I was being asked, what does selling means to you? And I came up with the complex equivalences that says that selling is caring. If you don't care about the person that you're selling anything to, right? I don't know, the process is not going to be pleasant. Yeah. So that's how I look at it. So it has to be something that is deeply meaningful to the buyer or the potential buyer or the students, and it also has to make sense to me as the one that is offering these services. Okay, so I have denormalized my process a little bit, and I want to just share with you, and feel free to try and use it, and send some messages over, and I would like to hear from you after you've used it. All right, so I've gotten a few that I've written down in terms of some of the questions that I asked. Yeah, so in the 5-step sales process, obviously that you will have to start with step 1, which is to build rapport, and then you go into asking questions. For me, step 1 and step 2 are done together, so I don't need any kind of a small talk. I introduce myself and I ask them a few questions to find out a little bit about them, and then I go straight into some of these questions. So the plan is this: I will tell you what the questions are, and then I will unpack a little bit so that you have a bit more understanding of it. Okay. So one of the things that I will ask early on in the conversation is what makes you want to look into this. So if they are talking about NLP practitioner certification, I will ask it like, what makes you want to look into NLP or NLP certification? And I will listen to them and have them tell me. So what does this question actually draw out or elicit? Well, it elicits a few things. One is that it elicits their motivation, and you know from your master prac class training that motivation is closely tied to the person's values. Yeah, so it brings out the motivation for looking for even seeking out NLP trainings. Yeah. It also gives you what is their purpose. When they tell you, you will be able to detect what is their purpose of learning, taking NLP. Also, it gives you, based on what they explain, you will be able to pick up their criteria for making certain decisions in terms of whether to enroll in your program or not. So what makes you want to look into NLP or want to look into business coaching? Very important question to ask, and I asked this at the very onset of it. Yeah. Next question. Next question is, what is your plan for the future? So I want to know their goals. I want to know what is their intention and what are some plans, what are their dreams. Sometimes I modify this question a bit. I will say, what is your plan for the future? And I will add a little bit and says, tell me even the dreams that only you know, that you keep in your heart, that maybe nobody else knows, but something that you truly want to do, want to make it happen in the future. So this question actually will surface out their goals, but also their long-term goals, their aspiration, their plans. You will be able to detect whether they have a well thought out step-by-step process. As they tell you their plans, it also allows you to have clarity of where they are heading. It also gives them clarity. And it's like, oh, I never thought about this before, and now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, perhaps this is what I want to do. So the second question that I asked is, what is your plan for the future? Yeah. Then I will ask the next question. Next question is, what is stopping you from achieving those plans, those goals? So if you think about it, right, if you have the plan and you are clear, then don't you think that you should be on your way to achieving it? And if you are seeking for something, there is a possibility that maybe you are encountering some obstacles. So I wanted to find out from them, and what this question does is that it actually it surface up the limiting belief that they could have, or limiting decisions, all the obstacles that they see. And generally it is going to be limiting beliefs and limiting decisions. Why? Because that's the thing that is stopping them. So you want to know, and it gives you it gives me an idea of where are the obstacles and where do they see the obstacles. Now then, when they come for training, I will know what are the techniques that they can learn that will be able to address some of these things. Yeah. So that's a very good question to ask. Next question. What do you want instead? This word instead is a very powerful word. Yeah. So here they are talking about their goals. They start off and then they talk about the obstacles that they have. And then you say, what do you want to have instead? This question actually will help you to know what they really want. And that's good, because then you have something that to aim at. It gives you the clarity, the trainer or the coach, the clarity to say, okay, so that's the goal. And so you work towards achieving the evidence procedure for getting that. Yeah. So it tells you what they really want. Next question that I ask is that when after they tell me what is it that they want to have, I will tell them that why is that so important to you? Now, when you ask the question, why is that so important? What it will surface are the deeply held values. So this question is actually taken from your master practitioners training when we were doing value alignment, when you want to see whether you need to clean up the values and all or not. So why is that so important? Why is achieving that so important? And it it will tell you. So you pay attention and you listen to it, you actually will detect the deeply held values for them. Yeah. So this is a question that I ask, and in any point that if I'm not clear, I would ask them to tell me more or explain, and so they are able to give you more information. So now you know what is the values that is deeply held by them. Next question is, what does it mean to you when you get this goal? What does it mean to you? So you want to know the complex equivalences behind the achievement of the goal. Because that's all the equation. That means this, that means this. It means that I have achieved success. It means that I am able to provide for my family. It means that, you know, I can pursue something greater. It means that I can create the world that I want. So you want to know what are the complex equivalences behind that. This what does it mean to you also tells you how is it the goal, how is it meaningful to them, and that's a very, very powerful thing to know. Next question is, and it's seldom asked, and I find this to be really interesting, is you ask, what would you say to yourself when you have it? So auditory digitals are seldom looked into, and it's a very important aspect in our everyday life, because if you think about it, your auditory digital, your internal dialogue are usually the conclusion that you make. So if you listen to what they will say to themselves, you actually will find keywords that's how they connect deeply with themselves. So these are the questions that I ask, that in every sales appointment, a sales meeting or sales discussion, I like to call it a consultation with potential students and clients. These are the questions that I ask because they allows me to know what is meaningful to them. And then later on, if you are able to find all this, you will know what you can offer from your services or your products, and it makes the matching easier. Not just easier for yourself, but also it makes the matching of the needs meaningful to the client. It also makes sense to them. So that's what I do. These are the questions that I have, and I hope it gives you some idea, or it gives you something to try and see what happens with it. Yeah. So that's what I have. And don't be surprised if you start hearing people say that nobody asked this kind of question. Wow, that's really deep. I never really thought about it. So what usually in a 20 minutes conversation may very well end up having a 45 minutes conversation. And I notice also one thing, when I ask these questions, right, because no one else asked this, we never lose a client. They may not sign up immediately, but we never lose a client. So there you go. There is my short sharing with you. I hope it's useful, and please communicate with me. We're in the same community and all. I would love to hear from you, and if you have further questions, I would love to answer some of them. So thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody, and go and transform the world. Thank you. Bye bye.